Hey, Steele from Steele the Show here. Today I will be talking about the new Netflix series, Luke Cage. Marvel's Luke Cage is the third Marvel series to hit Netflix. The series starts out as a crime epic and later evolves into your typical superhero show. Tonally, it's a very down-to-earth, even compared to Daredevil and Jessica Jones TV show, which works very well for itself. The Marvel Universe continues to expand its repertoire with weird and out-there superheroes such as Guardians of the Galaxy, as well as grounded ones such as Luke Cage. Let's get right into it. Mike Colter's character, Luke Cage, is very well developed and well acted throughout the whole series. The first couple of episodes really solidify his character and show you a wide range of emotions. And while he's sort of a subdued character for the rest of the series, you can see that that's just his personality, and the first few episodes pushed him to his limit and his personality really came out. This works well because it shows you that he can be a very tough individual as well as very caring, which ultimately mesh well into a good superhero. Other characters, such as villains Diamondback, Cottonmouth, and Mariah Dillard, are also very well developed, very impressively done characters. They're very menacing, so I won't talk about Diamondback too much because he's more of a spoiler character. He doesn't come in until later in the series. But Cottonmouth is a very well developed character. He's very interesting. He seems like an average sort of person who just happens to be powerful. Like, the emotions he goes through, they make sense for his backstory, and they're very powerful. He's a very emotional guy. He's kind of tormented inside, you can see later in the series. And Mahershala Ali, or sorry if I mispronounced that, he does a very good job of portraying that character. Cottonmouth's cousin Mariah is also very menacing, but more on the political scale and less on the up-close and personal, gangster life sort of scale. And she's honestly less interesting than Cottonmouth and Luke Cage are, and I kind of wish that they had dialed back on how much they used her because she's not the most compelling character in the story. They really do make it difficult for Luke Cage because he's got to deal with these two different sides of the supervillain spectrum. Other characters that aren't as well developed, they're well characterized, if that makes sense. For example, Shade's probably my favorite villain. He's really cool under pressure, and he's angry, and he just loves hurting people, and I think that's great about him. Even though we don't know too much about him, he's a very compelling character, and I personally think he's great, and I hope we see him more in the future. The action in this show is very cool, even though it's dispersed throughout very sparingly. It's done at moments that make sense for the show, and it's very intense. Obviously, with Luke being indestructible, you'd think it'd be hard to make an interesting action sequence with him. They kind of understand that in this show, and they make the action just pure fun. It's like, the dude doesn't get hurt, he's just flinging people left and right, and the only thing that bothers him is that he keeps getting bullet holes in his hoodie. It's sort of the main issue in this movie. I want to say that the pacing isn't bad, but it is very, very slow. It takes its time. It's a slow build. And like I said before, this movie starts out as sort of a crime epic with a superhero at the center, and then about halfway through the season, there's a very definite shift. It becomes a straight-up superhero show. But the pacing in these two different aspects of the show is very different. It is going to be a little slow for some people. Overall, Luke Cage is a competent superhero show with superb acting that probably could have been executed a little bit better, a little bit faster for me, I think would have really helped it. But overall, it's a good entry into Marvel's series. It's a good one-time watch. I would definitely recommend you check it out, especially if you enjoy Netflix's other Marvel series. And it does a great job to expand the Marvel universe and make it a little bit more grounded. So that concludes my thoughts on Luke Cage. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and share. And remember, steal the show.
Jump on stage and then I did that.